Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. In case you're new here, hi, my name is Joy and welcome to this family. So I know you're all wondering why I am all dressed up for a chapati video. It is because yesterday when I made the video I did not make an introduction video, so I wanted to do it today. That is why. And I am also going somewhere, hence the whole look. So yeah, before I talk so much, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video, because you guys, who doesn't like chapos? Who? It is actually my favorite dish. But anyway, let's get right on into the video. So we have flour. That is the first basic ingredient you need. That one, the small one, is from the last time we cooked chapo. That is why it is there. And then there is pumpkin. That is pre-blended boiled pumpkin. It is basically an amount, like the amount you're going to use depends on how much you want it to be. Like the more the nutrients. And then we have water. It is warm. And then we have oil, sugar, some salt over there, and then the sufuria that you're going to be using to knead the dough. Yeah, so basically those are the most essential ingredients you'll be needing for this chapati making thing or whatever it is. So yeah, the pumpkin, it is a little bit creamier because I used milk cream. Like, you know, when you boil milk and then it cools down and then there's a layer of cream on top of it. That is what I added. So yeah, let's get right on into it. So first things first, we are gonna put in our flour, but I put the one that we had already used, kitambo, because that saying that goes first in first out. That is the basic saying for food. Like if you have food in the fridge and you buy new, like maybe you have, what do we say, maybe you have veggies, you have to use the ones that you bought first before you use the ones that you have just bought recently. Yeah, and then I put in the other flour that is there. Basically for me, I've been making chapatis my entire life after high school, because I did home science and I just had to learn how to make chapos. So I don't know how to measure, like to prepare while measuring. So if you're just a beginner, you can measure, but don't be too precise. Me, I usually feel I have that thing where if I measure so much, my food won't come out fine. And then we go in with the sugar. For us, our chapatis are very sugary and they're very, very sweet. That is why I'm putting in a lot of sugar. But if you don't take sugar, you can use, what is it called? You can use salt to replace the sugar, because some people actually, I know people who just use salt instead of sugar and it still tastes fine. But for salt, you have to be very careful, because hey, me one time I put a lot of salt and you guys, hey, you don't want to try it. It is not a good thing, okay? So just put enough salt and yeah, you're good to go with the salt. Then you mix them together, and while you're mixing, you want to try and raise the flour up, like you're aerating the flour so that it just becomes, I don't know what it does, but it helps when you lift the flour up a bit. It is called aeration. And then when you're done mixing and the mixture is completely mixed up, you add in your pumpkin. And my pumpkin is warm because I boiled it first before I blended, so it has to be warm. So yeah, and then you just pour it in the well, and then you start digging in and mixing it up. So for me, I just use my hands. They are clean. You can use a wooden stick or a mwiko to mix it, because my mom uses it and it still comes out fine. I don't know how she does that, but that woman. But anyway, yeah, you continue mixing your mixture while you're adding in your liquid. And yeah, you basically do that for some time until your dough is becoming better and better, if that makes sense. But yeah, you keep on adding your liquid, and we are looking for very soft chapatis. And for soft chapos, you have to make the dough very soft. That is the determiner. If you make it hard, it is going to be very hard for you to get like soft chapatis. So you have to add a lot of liquid until you feel like it is becoming soft enough for you to leave it to rest. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. So yeah, after I have added all my pumpkin, I still don't feel like it is soft enough, so sorry, I'm gonna add in some water. And for me, it is all about using everything that you have. So when I'm adding water, I just put it in the blender to remove the excess pumpkin that is left in the blender. Yeah, and I pour it inside. I think that is too much water for me even, so I just put what is enough, and I continue kneading my dough and kneading. Together, you see, like right now this furee is clean and it is also not messy, and my hands are becoming cleaner. And you know, you guys, fun fact about me, I studied home science, and I remember our teacher teaching us how to make the dough, and she used to say, don't overhandle the dough. Like when it's like this already, don't do too much to it. So basically, after it's together, I make small holes, tiny holes where I can put the oil. There you go. There. I make small holes and then I put oil, not so much of it. This is canola oil. We are trying it out. We've never even used it. We've never used it, but you're trying it out to see if it's worth the money. So this is the first time I'm actually using it. It was used like, I think yesterday, but yeah. After you are done pouring them on the holes, you just mix it up. But you know, you guys, on the way, like when you're making chapos, on the way you basically just learn newer tricks and better ways to cook and everything, because starting off, I just used to put water, sugar and salt. That's it. Those were my basic chapos. But along the way, I learned how to put carrots, how to put pumpkin, how to add oil, how to make them, what is it called, those ones that come out in layers, how to make them, how to use cream. Cream helps in making them a little bit soft. So yeah, along the way you just learn. Don't be afraid of learning, by the way. You can never know something if you're afraid of learning. So you basically just want to mix it until all the oil is sucked up inside. It's not very rough, like it's smooth enough. And yeah, yep, there it is. There we go. Like you can see, it is already forming layers. So when you cook it, like even when you're rolling it out, it will form layers just like that, even without doing too much. That is the good thing about adding oil. So yeah, after you are done, I just turn it so that the good side can be on the top. And then I use this paper. I cut it open. And then I use it to cover it up. So yeah, we are gonna let it rest for like an hour or two, and then we are gonna start making them. See you then. So after your dough has rested for like an hour or so, you first clean up the surface that you're going to be using, and then you sprinkle some flour on it. That is going to help you when you trying to flatten the dough. It is not going to stick on the surface. And yeah, so basically you just sprinkle flour, and depending on the softness of your dough, it will determine how much flour you're going to use on your table or whatever you are using. So yeah, basically that is the first thing you're supposed to do. And then now we are going to first use a rolling pin to roll out our dough, and basically that is the first process. You just roll out your dough, and yeah, so let's do that. When you are done flattening your dough, you just pour oil on top of it, like the flat surface, and then you just basically rub it in using your hands. You can use a brush, like if you have the brush for the oil brush, you can use it. And then if it is not enough, you can put in more oil and do the same. This part is very crucial, like you have to do this part, because it is going to determine whether your chapatis are going to be the normal chapos that are just chapatis, or they are going to be those chapos that come out in layers, you know, like you remove them and they are all layered up, and they are, you know, I don't know how to say it, like when you tear it up it becomes nice. And yeah, after you are done with the oil, you start cutting up, and we are using that cutter. I don't know how it is called, it just rolls while cutting. If you don't have it, you can also use a knife, it works just fine. And try your best to make as even lines as possible. For me, I do not know why they do not come even, but I try my best. But anyway, try your best to make the lines even, because we just want similar chapos. We do not want bigger ones and smaller ones. So yeah, after you are done, we start rolling them and making balls. For me, I use the basic rolling technique where I just roll, and then when I am done, I tie it up and finilia it inside, if you know what I'm meaning. And you can see it is it forms those two lines. Those are also the layers. And then yeah, so you do the same for all of them. You can also, I don't know, you use your method, use the method that you are able to use. For me, I just use this method, and then it works just fine. So after you are done and you have that last one that is remaining, for me, I just basically add onto the ones that look like they are smaller, and there is no specific way of doing it. So you do whatever you want, like you can add it to another one. You can also make one small chapati. For me, when my niece is around, I make a smaller one for her, and then she rolls it out and she's so happy about it. Yeah, so there they are, the small balls. They were around 19, actually they are 19. So yeah, we are going to start making circles. This was the hardest part to learn, making these circles. Hey, but you just learn slowly. The most important thing you need to know is you are in control of the rolling pin. So you're the one who takes it where you want it to go. And to be safe, you have to use enough flour, like don't let it stick on the surface, and then don't overpress the central part, like that middle part, because when you start cooking them and the middle part is very much pressed, it is going to be harder. That is why some chapatis, when they dry, when you crack them, the outside is soft but the inside is very, like the outside and then the inside, not like the inside, like the center is hard and then the outer part is soft. So don't overpress the middle, just make it nice and circle. And then I had already made my first two because they are the worst. And then you put your pan and you let it heat up. While it is heating up, you continue making more circles, because for me, if I don't make more circles on time, the pan will be hot and I will be devastated. So yeah, after the pan is hot, you put in your first chapo. And for me, I use that method where I first dry it and then I put oil. So yeah, you let it dry up. And while it is drying up, you also continue making other circles. Once it starts to form those bubbles, you know that it is becoming dry and it is working. And then when it dries on both sides, you put the other one, and if it has excess flour on it, you just rub it off. And then for me, I put the one that is already dry on top of the other one because it helps. Yeah, and then you continue making circles. And then for me, I go with 6 chapos at a time. You can go with whatever number you want. Me, I have seen people going with 10 and I am like, what are you doing even? That is very heavy. But anyway, yeah, for the first one, I just put some oil and then I turn it, because you don't want to put oil on the pan. That thing will burn you. Do not put oil on the pan. It will burn you. It burnt me one time during Christmas. So yeah, basically that is how I do it. And then if the oil is not enough, you put more. You can also use a brush. This is the brush I was talking about. You can use it to just rub oil on it, but I don't like it because I have to use the brush and the spoon, because the spoon helps me with turning, the brush helps me with oil. So I prefer the spoon that does both. Because who doesn't want to save time? Like, see, we are just saving time here. So yeah, when the first one is done, you turn them and then you turn it and then you put on oil again, like you can see me demonstrate. I hope you're getting what I am saying from the demonstration on the video. So yeah, you basically leave them to cook. So after you are done with all of them, you have to clean up after your mess. Do not leave your mess for somebody else. So yeah, that is what I was doing. I was just cleaning up and making sure that I have a clean surface after I am done, because that is the best thing. Like when you see something somewhere that you used is clean and no one is following after you. So yeah, after you are done, and those were my last chapos, I was very happy. I am always excited when I am done, and those were the last round. So yeah, you basically put them in a dish. For me, I use a smaller dish. I do not use a big dish because I want all the heat to remain concentrated together. That is why I am pressing them together. So yeah, we are done, you guys. I am so excited, and they came out so perfectly. I am so happy. I am super excited. And yeah, so basically that is how you make chapatis. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned something. Bye.